Hello, hello, hello. You alright? Feels like ages since I've done one of these, and it is ages since I've filmed one of these, but of course, filmed a lot in advance, so maybe the last time you saw me was just last week. So yeah, anyway, what am I doing today? Well, the nation is in the grip of election fever. Whoa! How tiresome it is. I've done well this time round. Mostly avoided it. I see the headlines and I'm not really clicking any further than that. Don't want to know. It gets very depressing otherwise. But one thing I've done, which is forcing me to even look at the headlines, is my monthly Patreon zine. This month is an election special. Woohoo! So I've got to fill it with drawings of politicians. I'm mostly focusing on politicians that are currently in, although I suppose there are no MPs at the moment, Parliament's been dissolved. But I'm focusing on recent politicians who are still running, I think, runners and the riders. Although actually I've done MP, but my MP, Mark Logan, who won't be an MP this next time round, he's resigned from the Conservative Party and he's pledged allegiance to the Labour Party, but he's not standing. So far he's the odd one out in that he's not standing. So he's not in the race. But everyone else I've drawn so far is standing. I've drawn people I'd rather not draw. To be honest, I'd rather not draw any of them. But there we go. It's been fun to draw them. Actually, I've been drawing Ed Davey. Drawn him once, but it was so fun to draw Ed Davey. Out and about on his little trips and adventure holidays and stuff, ticking off his bucket list. I think he's dying. I think that's it. This is his last chance to do everything on his bucket list. And he's having a wonderful time. Bless him. Finding it quite funny. He's never going to get into government, is he? I can't see it anyway. So who am I drawing today? Today I'm drawing Jeremy Hunt. The Tory, don't know what he is these days. Is he the Chancellor? I think he's Chancellor still, isn't he? The Chancellor. Blimey. He popped up on the news, I think it was this morning. So I'm going to draw him. And try and think of something funny for him to say. I know what I'm going to have him saying, to be honest. I know what I'm going to have him saying. And you will know by the end of this video. So stick around. So my monthly zine. I don't know if I've mentioned my monthly zine on here. Can't remember. Yeah, it's Patreon only. And if you subscribe to my Patreon at it's the top rate, it's £5 a month. You get a physical copy of this zine every month. And it's roughly 20 pages, 20 sides I should say, full of drawings, and occasionally I've only done 2 so far. This is issue 3 that I'm working on. It's a weird nose. I've also had so far film recommendations and book recommendations and stuff like that. Features a bad guy from TJ Hooker every month. Not sure whether I should still do that this month with it being an election special. Maybe I will. I do know of a bad guy who's a crook in a position of privilege. So he'd fit right in, wouldn't he? Yes, he would. This is not looking like Jeremy Hunt so far. Doesn't really matter. Trouble is though, everyone I've drawn so far has been a really good likeness, so I feel like it does matter to me. I've probably said many times on this channel that it shouldn't matter. Sometimes it does though. I'll keep going. I do get a better likeness when I'm not talking. So I'm enjoying making the zine so far. There's been times when it's felt like a little bit of burden's the wrong word. I felt the pressure. Got to have something done. But I'm very pleased at the end when I've done it and I've got it. Something to show for the work I put in. And it's a nice way of collecting your monthly drawings together. It's almost nicer than a sketchbook in some ways. Because it's its own little thing, its own little product. Maybe sketchbooks should just be 20 pages long. But I also like how with the zine you start thinking in terms of content and how these things go together, which is very nice. And you start, you will do one drawing and see, oh, if I do this drawing on the other side of that page, that's going to be an interesting juxtaposition. So yeah, it's nice that. It's like making a record. I think you often find when you're making a record that you stumble upon a theme and you kind of then work towards that. My last record was kind of, the theme is going to be, it's theme about lyrically it was about nice things and trying to be positive. But musically it was kind of, this is going to be fairly natural sounding, even though I have to use drum samples. They were live drum samples, and it was quite a guitar album, whereas the previous one was a tribute to the 80s, early 80s, like between 80 and 83 I would say tops. So yeah, I'm working on a song at the moment, speaking of 80s, which is full on 80s disco. It's inspired by the sound. I mean, the music just came to me, but the sound of it, the production I'm going for. If you imagine El DeBarge, Rhythm of the Night, which is a great track, and George Benson as well. Never give up on a good thing. And one person that ties those two songs together is a drummer called John Robinson, who was a drummer from Rufus, and I'd never heard of him before, and it's only whilst researching this like sound that I stumbled across him. I knew those two songs were kind of songs I kind of wanted to take information. Well, I could take information from them, inspiration from them, in terms of the way they sounded and the production. And lo and behold, it's him on both tracks. One he's playing live drums on, and the other he's programmed an Oberheim DMX drum machine. So I went out and got a plug-in, and it's really good. It's made by GeForce software, in case you're wondering. Anyway, so yeah, I'm working on that, and that's quite fun. Has meant that the art has been taking a little bit of a backseat, and that's where the zine is another good thing. It's making me commit and do some drawing, because I've got people who are paying for it. Can't let them down. It's kind of got Jeremy Hunt's goofy sort of face there now. Not as I don't think he's as dim as he looks in this photo or this drawing. Calculating man, I'm sure. It's looking really weird, this. It's kind of right, though. It's kind of right. So far, look at that. I'm concentrating now, aren't I? It's looking good. Football's on in an hour as I'm from now. I've been getting into the Euros. I've seen nearly every match. Might watch highlights later, actually, after this. But the next match is Turkey v Georgia. I'm struggling to get excited for that one. Really am. I don't know how. The only thing I'm wondering is, are Turkey and Georgia neighbours? They may be fairly close. So I wonder if there's going to be any aggro between them, because that's always good. If there's a bit of rivalry. I like a full-blooded football match. Speaking of full-blooded, Mbappe got absolutely bashed, didn't he? Well, he didn't get bashed. It was a complete accident, but the state of his nose properly bent to one side. In that was that looked painful, really did. And of course, England. I mean, they've all played one match so far. You know, England were basically all right. I thought afterwards that maybe it was good that we had a match that was a little bit difficult and came across a team that was defending in numbers, giving us some problems, but you know, only one shot on target, I think. Certainly, Pickford only had to make one save, I think, which was brilliant. But I thought at the time, well, I think that's good that we've had to struggle a little bit. And then that's exactly what Southgate said. So, get me. It's not often I get stuff right about football. Unless Southgate's wrong too. See that's odd, isn't it? One jaw kind of starts there, the other starts down there, so that's off. But it does look like Jeremy Hunt in a really wonky sort of way, so that's good, because it's who it's meant to be. Got George Benson in my head now. Never give up on a good thing. Remember what makes you happy. I love all that stuff. That cheesy, smooth disco. Okay, 80s disco. It's just so good. Shalimar. Wow, what a band Shalimar are. They're fantastic. Well into that. And of course, this track I'm recording, the only thing that I'm not able to do is sing like George Benson. I can hear it in my head. George Benson is singing it. It's going to have to be me, I'm afraid. God knows how it's going to turn out. At the moment, I'm trying to sing it like a disco singer. I'm not sure if that's the right way to do it, but that's where I'm at the moment. That's what it's got to be like. We'll see. When I was writing it, which is not, I mean, it's not even finished yet. It's one of these songs where it starts with a groove, so it's quite difficult that way because I tend to write a melody and lyrics first and then work out what's going backing that melody and lyrics. But with this one, it has been you're starting with that groove, but it's very easy to just go around and around that groove, but it's also very difficult to make a song out of it sometimes. You just want to put it on loop, and I don't like that. I don't want a song to be just a loop. Not Max Martin. So yeah, that's a little bit of a challenge. It's a good challenge. Very much so. It's a lot of fun. And I'm quite excited how it's going to sound. I've got some great percussion plugins that some bongos and congas, because I don't have them at home, the real thing, so they're really good, and they sound so natural these days. You know, all the sampled instruments are absolutely amazing. I've got some brass samples on it, brass is still, I can still tell a little bit, you know, that the brass isn't the real thing, but it's very, very close. A little bit of work on that in the mix, and it should sound good. I think everyone's used to hearing brass samples these days anyway. I think a lot of people just assume that what they're hearing is real brass, when often it's not, it's just samples. Need to do Jeremy's speech, don't I? I'll have to draw the bubble and then Tipex a little bit out. But here we go. Paraphrasing Partridge here. Here we go. You can't see that. It says, can I just shock you? I like Liz Truss. He was recorded praising her in some event recently. Arguably the worst Prime Minister in British history, and there's been some rotters. None as absolutely inept and ridiculous as she was. So, do I do what you do when I do my love to you? Stevie, that's a great song. Dun dun, ba ba ba, dun 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 dun. What was I going to say? Do I shade his suit in? Do I just leave it plain? I've been doing a lot of shading on suits and I'm getting bored of it. But, you know, it does need something. May I have a little change and do it digitally? I'll just do straight lines down. I'm going to do straight lines down, I think. Oops. Yeah, you may have noticed I'm just painting on really like average printer paper here, because they get scanned and put into the zine. So I see no need to be using really good drawing paper. It's a little bit pointless. There we go. Those rough lines work quite nicely. And I've even been drawing on the other side. I will do as well with this one. Show you one here. Got that there. And then that on the back. That. If you want to have a proper look at them, subscribe to Patreon. By the way, if you don't want to pay the £5 a month for a physical copy of the zine, I've got a lower tier, which I think is £1.50. And you can get a PDF of the zine, download it, print it yourself if you want. That's much cheaper. A link to my Patreon is in the description of this video, and pretty much all of my videos from from the past 12 months. So check it out. Nearly done this. Bit of shading up here. Get some more on the heart. I'll say that's finished. There he is. That was a very short one, wasn't it? I'll say short, it's nearly half an hour. Jeremy Hunt. One of the runners and riders in the UK election of 2024. Will he win? Possibly. We will find out on July the 5th. Until then, I'll be back before then, I believe. I don't know when this is going out. Haven't a clue. Anyway, thanks for watching. Now you go and draw your favourite or most hated politician, and I'll see you next week. Bye!